Hello, I am Anuradha, a retired defense officer, a master's in nutrition and dietetics management, a serving dietitian, nutritionist, a lifestyle and wellness coach, and also a holistic parenting coach. And today I have come to you to show you and give you a pearl of wisdom regarding diets and nutrition. मेरे सामने एक किताब ये आई है जिसके बारे में मैं आपके साथ रिव्यू करना चाहती हूँ और आपको शेयर करना चाहती हूँ। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये किताब इस देश के हर नागरिक के पास होनी ही चाहिए। यह किताब नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन के द्वारा प्रकाशित की गई है और इसके अंदर जो कुछ भी सोर्सेज हैं, जो कुछ भी गाइडलाइंस हैं, वो ऑथोराइज्ड डाइटिशियंस, ऑथोराइज्ड डॉक्टर्स एंड स्पेशलिस्ट के द्वारा लिखी हुई हैं। सरकार द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त डाइटरी मैनुअल है। इट्स बेसिकली अ डाइटरी गाइडलाइंस फॉर इंडियंस एंड इट इज पब्लिश्ड बाय नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन हैदराबाद एंड इट इज अ authoritative book, and one can student, as a citizen, as a learner, you can freely download this book from the site of National Institute of Nutrition and also you can get it from there. But today, for those who could not, आज मैं उनके लिए Dietary Guidelines for Indians, एक मैनुअल नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन का, उसके ऊपर रिव्यू पढ़ने के लिए आए कि what does this book contain and what all topics does it contain, so that if you like it, you can go ahead, purchase it, download it. तो दोस्तों, Dietary Guidelines for Indians, a manual. ये किताब, ये मैनुअल नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन बाय इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च हैदराबाद की तरफ से प्रकाशित है, पब्लिश्ड है. The advisory committee of this manual includes the directors, scientists, chancellors of various universities like All India Institute of Medical Sciences, like ICMR, like Agriculture University, like deputy directors of National Institute of Nutrition, chief dietitians of CMC, Vellore, directors of NIN of Lady Irwin College, and also it has been acknowledged and contributed. The contribution has also been given by the Food and Nutrition Security Community, the Solution Exchange Group of St. John Research Institute, Bangalore. So we can say that this book is an authenticated book and you can rely on all the informations and the guidelines given on that. The content of this book includes the current diet and nutrition scenario and what are the dietary goals, what should be the dietary goals of an Indian family, of an Indian male, of an Indian female, of a lactating mother, of a pregnant mother, and different guidelines basing on the different age, different status and different working group, and also on children, on nutrition, on pregnant ladies, on lactating mother, on senior citizen, on those working in the sports, or those also who are leading a sedentary lifestyle. Then the book contains annexures on approximate calorific value of various food, nutrients, minerals, food groups like nuts, salads, fruits. It also gives annexes on balanced diet for adults, whether they are sedentary lifestyle, whether they have moderate lifestyle, or they are involved in a heavy activity like sports and physical labor. This book also gives the sample meal plan for adult men and sample meal plan for adult women who are sedentary. The book also gives you the recommended dietary allowances. It also gives you the balanced diet plan for infants, children and adolescents. It also gives you what are low calorie vegetables and fruits with high calorie value, approximate calorific value of some cooked preparations. It gives you the glycemic index of common foods. It gives you exercises and physical activities. It gives you how we can remove the pesticide residues from the food products. That means how once we purchase the food products, we can reduce the impurities. It gives you what should be our drinking water standards. It also gives you what should be our portion size and gives you a standard 1 day menu plan. Then it also gives you an insight and the tips of some portions of some nutrient rich foods. So all in all, I recommend this book to read, for a must read book for all. It also gives you your meal plan and do's and don'ts, what we should eat and what we should not eat in various life stages, in various diseases, the chronic diseases like diabetes, like high BP, like high cholesterol, like cardiovascular problem, like kidney issues. The book says in its introduction that nutrition is a basic human need and a preparation for a healthy life, and it's a prerequisite to a healthy life. A proper diet is essential from the very early stages of life for proper growth, development, and to remain active. Food consumption, which largely depends on production and distribution, that determines the health and nutritional status of the population. Formulation of dietary goals and specific guidelines will help us in providing required guidance to people in ensuring nutritional adequacy. The dietary guidelines should be directly applied for general population. The dietary guidelines ought to be practical, dynamic, and flexible. The major food issues of concern are insufficient and imbalanced intake of foods and nutrients. The common nutritional problems of public health importance is low birth weight, protein energy malnutrition, chronic energy deficiency in adult, micronutrient malnutrition, and diet-related non-communicable disease. However, diseases at the either end of the spectrum of malnutrition are important. The recent evidences indicate that undernutrition may set the pace for diet-related chronic diseases in later life. In this document of dietary manual, food-related approaches, both in qualitative and quantitative terms, have been incorporated. A variety of foods which are available and are within the reach of the common people are recommended. In India, there are a variety of food preparations and culinary practices. Different cereals, millets are used as a staple food apart from a variety of cereal, millet, pulse combination. The cooking oils and fats are used, which are of several kinds. The proposed guidelines in this book will help you to formulate health promoting recipes and diets which are region and cultural specific. Actually, it is very difficult to compute standard portion size common to all regions of India. Still, the attempts are made in this book to give portion sizes and exchange. To end the summary of the book, I would read out few excerpts from the book. The book gives in detail what should be our dietary guidelines. Right nutritional behavior and dietary choices are needed to achieve dietary goals. The following 15 dietary guidelines will provide you a broad framework for appropriate action. Eat variety of foods to ensure a balanced diet. Ensure provision of extra food to pregnant and lactating women. Promote breastfeeding for 6 months and encourage breastfeeding till 2 years or as long as you can. Eat plenty of vegetables and fruits. Ensure adequate and appropriate diet both in health and sickness. Ensure moderate use of edible oils and animal foods and very less use of ghee, butter and vanaspati. Avoid overeating to prevent overweight and obesity. Exercise regularly and be physically active to maintain ideal body weight. Restrict salt intake to minimum. Ensure the use of safe and clean foods. Adopt right pre-cooking process and appropriate cooking methods. Drink plenty of water and take beverages in moderation. Minimize the use of processed foods rich in salt, sugar and fats. include micronutrient rich foods in the diet, and include more micronutrient rich foods in the diets of elderly people so that they can remain fit and active. The book writes in detail, why do we need to have nutritionally adequate food? The nutrients that we obtain through food, the food which we eat, gets converted into small little nutrients which can be absorbed by the body. And all the nutrients which gets absorbed by the body through food, it affects on our physical growth and development. It maintains our normal body function, our physical activity, and also health. Nutritious food is needed to sustain life and activity. So our diet must provide all essential nutrients in the required amounts. Dietary intakes, whether we take in low quantity or also in the higher quantity than the body requirement, can lead to undernutrition, that is deficiency diseases on one spectrum, and overnutrition on the other spectrum. Eating too little food during certain significant periods of life like childhood, adolescence, pregnancy and lactation, and eating too much at any age can lead to harmful consequences. An adequate diet which will provide you all nutrients is therefore needed throughout our lives. And these nutrients must be obtained through a judicious choice and combination of a variety of foodstuffs from different food groups. The book gives you a food pyramid and writes it. Whatever you eat, whether you eat less, whether you eat moderate, or whether you eat adequate, the golden rule is exercise regularly and be physically active. It says there are certain foods like cereals, millets, you must consume adequately. There are some foods like vegetables, fruits, salads, seasonal items you must eat liberally. Then there are some food items like ghee, vanaspati, oil, and non-veg foods you must eat moderately. And then there are some foods which you should eat sparingly, yani kabhi kabhi khana chahiye, and these foods are processed foods. These foods are heavy foods. You must eat sparingly. I hope you like the review of this book, and if you like this video, please do share and comment. Each share and like gives me motivation to bring you back more such ideas, more such knowledge to you. And please do share it ahead and forward the video to more such people.